G'day all, and welcome to the Motor Valley YouTube channel. This video is about this particular chassis here and my experience with it. And gradually over the years I've changed the way that I build chassis, and I used to think this was really good, and this has just got standard rubber tyres, but I've nail polished them on, sanded them smooth, and this runs pretty good. And then I've switched from this to running foam tyres, and this is smoother on the track and better to drive, just because the tyres are lighter and they have more give in them. And yeah, so one of the things I've always looked at with these, and I've just gone, there's so much wasted space there, I could run a wider tyre. So this is what I did last week before I headed for racing. This is the same chassis I had in the video last week. So what I've done is I've got some alloy tube, machined the outside of the standard rim off, and slid the tube on over the top, super glued it on. If you're interested in what that material is that I used, so that's the part number for it there. It's 7mm OD. 7mm OD is the same size as standard Tommy turbo rims. So hang on, where is one? Here we go. Well, this is a Bulldog rim, but there you go. It's the same diameter. So all my tyres fit. It's a beautiful thing. So the track feel of this chassis, you'd come into a corner, and unlike running stronger magnets, the cars don't come off as easy, but this chassis still had the feel of, if you drove too fast into a corner, if you pitched in too hard, the back would still wipe out. But once you were in the corner, the tyre grip that it had, and I made these way too big. I rushed them. So look at the chassis gap under that one, and I made it way too big. But even with that much tyre on there, that was still, like, if I'd have done that with a tyre that wide, it just wouldn't have been that good. So this week I'm gonna muck around, and I'm gonna put a smaller diameter tyre on this, and then go back racing again, and then see how the lower profile tyre works. But so anyway, so I've left all the boys who raced there on Sunday night drove this and just commented about how smooth it is, and it was pleasant for transitions and all this sort of stuff, right? So I left racing Sunday night, and I went, you know what, I could get an Xtraction, and I could keep doing things to it and making it better. And I went, maybe that could be a race class. And I went, how far? Because while I don't sleep of the night and I sit there looking at the ceiling, I think of all these crazy ideas, right? So I came up with this idea, and I just went, what if we did a racing class where, instead of like what we do with the Bulldog, where we run a standard wide magnet chassis and everything in its stock, and then all we do is just slip on foam tyres, or you could run whatever you want to run wherever you run. But the point is a control tyre, right? So we just all run the same thing, and it doesn't matter what you run, so as long as everyone races with the same thing, right? So everything's about parity. So what if instead of doing this, that we did something different with this? And what if the parity was that you were limited to this armature, these magnets, and these gear ratios, and then you could do whatever else you wanted within reason? So that could mean many things. So we do a control body. So maybe it could be an AFX. Maybe it could be an AFX Porsche versus Ferrari, because that'd be easy to resin cast. Or maybe it's a Hot Wheels Group 5 body. So the Ford Capri versus the Porsche. There's other options out there, but these are just proposals I'm putting forward as options, as just suggestions, so that people understand the idea I've put forward. So anything, okay? So let's say you wanted to run a wider rear tyre, but you can't. Don't have the material, you don't have a lathe or any of the stuff that you need to be able to do stuff like this, where you're putting custom alloy rims on, right? So you don't have that, but you want a wider rim. What's an option you've got? Here you go. Lifelike M chassis. These have the widest rear ends tyre wise and rim wise out of anything. You could pull one of these rear end, like one of these out. So this is in a Lifelike M chassis and Lifelike T chassis. They've both got the same rims. So you could run that on the back of it. Now that doesn't require any fabrication. This one does have a smaller axle, so when you go to push it on here, you're going to need a tyre press. And then if you take it back off here to put it back on here, it's probably not going to fit, or it'll be very loose. And if you wanted matching rims, well, you just put the front and back ones on. So there's a simple solution, and you'd probably pick up one of these that's blown up for bugger all. And it's just that's a cheap way, right? So there's the potential there for blokes who want to make stuff, or blokes who don't want to make stuff and just want to use something that already exists and not reinvent the wheel, right? You could also buy, if you like silicon tyres and that sort of stuff, or you wanted to run, you could buy a commercial Viper double flange rim. You could buy a commercial silicon tyre to go on that Viper rim and work out your sizing and put that on. You could run a Razor front end. You could buy a brass front end. You could run independent. You could run stock. You could run Lifelike. You could run whatever you like, right? This is the whole concept. There'd be width restrictions on how wide you can go. There'd be a control body you have to fit in. There's the control parts here, but anything else. So if you wanted to fabricate a chassis from scratch and you wanted to put that time in, you wanted to do that, as long as you're using those parts in that width and on that and in that body, then your car's legal. If you wanted to bore out the screamer hole at the bottom and put metal bushing in there and do the same thing with the back axle and all along the top plate and the front end and all that sort of stuff, and that's what you wanted to do, guess what? And that'd be legal. If you wanted to run foam tyres, silicon tyres, rubber tyres, whatever kind of tyres you want, silicon over foam, knock yourself out. You know what I mean? Like, it's about a development chassis, and part of it is about trying to work out what works, what doesn't. This is the concept. So there's parameters you have to stay within, but other things. Now, it'll be funny because blokes will go to a lot of effort to do stuff and end up making the chassis worse. It's part of development. Talking about development, I developed, when I first started resin casting, this was the second body I ever resin cast. Now, I was introducing the concept of racing resins to the guys that I race with, and some of them were a bit unsure, and I had problems when I first made this body with the bodies coming off. So when you stacked, the body would come off and you'd lose time, because they don't. These early ones don't clip on as solid as what the AFX ones did. So, but I developed this through racing, and I just kept on going, and I got to the point to get it down to be competitive with AFX cars. I had to grind all the inside of the body out to take all the weight out of it to get it light enough to be able to compete with an AFX car, because some of the ones I was racing against, it was a struggle trying to race against them. But I ended up, it was a very competitive chassis. I didn't win the season, but I think I came second or third or something, but it was tight. It was really tight. So that's how I learnt how to resin cast and make stuff suitable for racing. There's another body I've resin cast for a Lifelike M chassis, funnily enough. But yeah, I'm a bit excited about this whole concept, because I am so stoked with how well this drives compared to this, and with some pretty simple modifications. And honestly, just putting those rims on with foam tyres and getting the sizes right would do the same. You get the same result. There is many ways to skin a cat, as they say. Look, come back to me in the comments. Tell me what you think. Oh, here's another way. You got to run that armature and those magnets and that gear ratio, right? There you go. If you like your AFX magnet tractions, slip one of those arms, those magnets in there. It's got the same gear ratio. If you want to race a magnet traction, now's your chance. Doesn't have to be new, doesn't have to be anything, because you can buy, you can build, you can customize, you can pinch parts, you can do whatever you want. Tell me what you think in the comments, whether you think this could work. If you, I'd even want to hear about it if you're at home and you've just got your own little track and you don't race against anyone and it's just you. But if you're inspired by this to do something similar and have a crack, I reckon that'd be great. And if people even got back to me with, this is what lap time my car used to get, this is what it gets now, like after I've done X, Y, or Z to it, I reckon that'd be fantastic. And you know what would be even better in my books? If someone lived in Newcastle, New South Wales, in Australia, and went, hey, this sounds like something I want to be a part of. I want to come and race with you guys because I want to be part of this project. So I'm offering up my garage and my tooling and my help and experience for anyone that wants to come race with us to be able to do this. This is the concept. Like, I'm not just going, I've got tools, you don't. I'll make tyres for you. If you want alloy rims, I'll help you do this. You know, like, I'm not bothered by it. I reckon this is an awesome thing to do. And it's like, I sort of wanted originally the Australian Hoe Racing League to be a franchisable thing where that other guys could just jump on and do the same thing. But look, part of the difference of what we do, one of the rules we have is there's local decisions in there, so you can choose a local chassis with local rules. The main thing about the Australian Hoe Racing League is that we run XLR plugs, 3-wire controllers, or provision for. You can run brakes if you want, because we let the driver decide whether he wants to run brakes or not. We don't force him. If you don't want to use them, don't use them. It doesn't bother me. And it shouldn't bother anyone that I want to use them or don't want to use them or whatever, because depending what chassis, depends whether I use them or I don't. But this sort of stuff, this is what I want to get my teeth into, customising like this. So yeah, let me know what you think. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling on. Thanks very much for watching. If you're back and you're watching again, thank you very much for coming back to the channel. If you've subscribed to the channel already, thank you very much for showing your support. I think before I did this video, I think I was at 222 subscribers. Well, it was only about 2 or 3 weeks ago I was at 160. So obviously there's a bit of interest out there for what I'm doing. What I've tried to do in this channel is the things that I wanted, like the things that I wanted to learn when I first started. These are the things that I'm trying to share. There's things I wanted to learn about how to make chassis go faster, how to do resin casting, how to do all this sort of stuff. What tuning differences make, you know, without just swapping parts out. How much speed can I get out of what's there? This is all the stuff I wanted to be able to find when I came to Hoe, and I really couldn't find it. So I've played around in my garage, I've experimented with stuff, this is what I've come up with, and now I'm sharing what I've learnt with others, and hopefully hoping to, you know, have it a little bit infectious and maybe catch on a little bit, and others maybe do the same. But yeah, but anyway, thank you very much for watching, and please come back and watch further videos, and make sure you go back through the back catalogue of what I've already made and have a look there. There might be something of interest there. I've tried to label the videos as best I can so they make sense, but yeah, if you just go to the channel, have a look at my videos and scroll through and see what's there. I've made them for you guys to watch. So anyway, thank you very much. Good night.